What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your brewmaster in chief. And tonight in the BrewLab, I'm coming at you with a split vote. I did a last little refresh just before checking, before pressing record. And Gruul Modified and Mirrorbox Walkers were neck and neck. And of course, whenever I do one of these polls, I then spend the rest of the day practicing and fiddling with all four of the decks that I've put up there so that I'm ready for whatever ends up being voted upon. And if I must be perfectly honest, I ended up spending most of the day today practicing and playing with the two decks that got the least votes. And of the four, the one that's the least ready is Mirrorbox Walkers. So therefore, just by a simple process of elimination, we're going with Gruul Modified tonight. Before we jump into the brew, I just wanted to ask you guys what you think about this new format. Me posting the poll and then we end up playing what you guys vote on. Do you like it? Please, I would love some constructive criticism. Let me know in the comments down below. But without further ado, let's jump into tonight's modified brew. I'm calling it KakkOozeAn. I've got full play set of Oran-Rief Ooze and full play set of Kumano faces Kakkazan plus Ooze, KakkOozeAn. And it's been doing the thing. It's pretty fun. Like when it goes off nicely, it goes off nicely. It still needs a little bit of work, but this is the first draft of this Gruul Modified that I've kind of made. So I'm still figuring things out. First up, we've got a full play set of Kumano faces Kakkazan. As I said, the really nice play is when the second chapter comes about, you play your Oran-Rief Ooze. So it comes into play as a 3/3, and then it also, when it comes into play, puts a +1/+1 counter on something, so you can put it on itself, and so you can get a 4/4 straight away, and you can give that 4/4 haste with a few ways. We can either just pay one red and use Goro-Goro, the disciple of Ryusei, or we can use the +1/+1 counter, or the static ability, because at that point Oran-Rief Ooze would already have a +1/+1 counter on it. But Invigorating Hot Spring says that all modified creatures you control have haste, so we'll just come into play with haste as long as you have Invigorating Hot Springs in play as a 4/4, and you could attack, and when it attacks you put +1/+1 counters on each other attacking creature that's attacking with it. You can see how it spirals out of control pretty quickly. If you have a Ranger class leveled up to level 2, and you have Oran-Rief Ooze in play, and you have Thundering Raiju in play, and Halana and Alena in play, the amount of combat step +1/+1 counters that you're distributing and dealing with is insane, guys, and it's so much fun. Can be really, really explosive, like turn 5 game overs, sometimes sooner. The important elements are giving all of our modified creatures haste. That's what the Hot Springs is here for, and that's what Goro-Goro is here for, and giving all of our modified creatures trample, which is what Kodama is in here for. Not only is it a nice little a little reachy boy that can grow, so it might get to a point in the game where it's big enough to block gold spans and things, but it gives all of our modified creatures trample, which is essentially for the win con. And whenever one of our modified creatures gets in for damage, you get to search your library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield, tapped and shuffle. This synergizes fantastically with the card that went below my radar, the Roaring Earth. And I have to give credit where credit's due. Thank you, David, for recommending this one to me, if you're watching this. Roaring Earth. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature or vehicle you control. So every time you get in for damage, you drawing all of these basics out of your library. If you have Roaring Earth in play as well, for each basic that hits the battlefield, you're putting +1/+1 counters on everything. Freaking sweet! So another way of modifying everything really rapidly. Roaring Earth, new addition from Kamigawa. Then we've got Arni slays the troll. We saw this in yesterday's brew. Nice little fight spell that then also ramps us on turn 2 and modifies our creatures. And then the little bit of life gain at the end is really, really nice in this deck. The other bit of life gain we have is Tamiyo. You would think I would go with Snakeskin Veil over Tamiyo in the deck because Snakeskin Veil modifies your creature when you cast it on it by putting the +1/+1 counter on it, but I'm actually valuing the indestructibility over the hexproof at the moment, and anyway you get hexproof with Tamiyo as well. And the life gain, it's just all overall better, and we're modifying all of our creatures with plenty of other ways. I don't need Snakeskin Veil to be doing that for me. I'd rather have indestructibility. And I really like the play when the opponent goes to like remove your Swarm Shambler or something that has a +1/+1 counter on it, and you have Swarm Shambler in play. So they cast the removal, you get the insect because of the Swarm Shambler, and then you Tamiyo safekeeping the target, so they get nothing and you get an insect. It's pretty nice. Of course, you can have multiple Swarm Shamblers in play, so then you get multiple insects. Pretty cool. Removal, other than Arni slays the troll, we've got Flame Discharge. We saw this also in yesterday's deck. Nice that you can always get rid of threats that are bigger than you have the mana for. As long as you have modified creatures, which we're always going to have, then it'll always do that 2 damage more than the mana that you're dumping into it, which is great. What else? Yeah, the top end. Thundering Raiju, Hasty Boy, comes in as a 3/3, but then of course if you can, it could be coming into play on a chapter 2 of Kumano. Comes in as a 4/4. Then you put a +1/+1 counter on it straight away from Invigorating Hot Spring. It's now a 5/5. It then attacks. It puts a +1/+1 counter on a target creature when it attacks. You put that counter on it. It's now a 6/6 the turn it came into. Sorry, yeah. And if it's attacking with Oran-Rief Ooze that turn, it's getting a counter as well from the Oran-Rief Ooze and maybe another one from Ranger class. Everything just gets counters. It's freaking amazing. And then of course Halana and Alena, you have to include that in a modified deck. She gets bigger because of plenty of ways as well. So then the bigger she gets, the more counters you're putting on things. She can get haste as she comes into play many times, which usually doesn't happen, which is great. So you can also just swing in with your Halana and Alena straight away. Just lots of great stuff going on in the deck, and I hope to really get it to go off completely bonkersly tonight, at least once during the gameplay footage. In the mana base, nothing crazy, usual suspects. Don't really need to say anything much more about that. I'm just omitting the Field of Ruins because it's an aggro deck and we're trying to get games done by turn 5, so usually won't have much trouble with the current popular man lands, creature lands as they are called. Let's jump into some games. Definitely a little bit of unranked today. I'm sitting in Diamond 2, or 1 game away from Diamond 2. I am fairly confident I'll be making Mythic tomorrow, so I just don't want to. I'm also very, very tired. It's late. I've had too many coffees and not enough sleep, and I don't want to risk it for nothing. Just play a little bit of unranked fun. It's also a first draft of a new deck, so Kumano into Shambler, or Kumano into Goro-Goro, I think is probably the better way to go about things. Silver Raven. It's an artifact, which is essential actually. Double Scry. Fades his own bird back. Highly interesting maneuver. Goro-Goro making an appearance. Now I have to probably watch for some counter magic. Unless he plays out something else. Yeah, this is a really strange concept. Nice. I guess. I think it's time to start slaying some trolls with our good friend Arni. Yeah. Gets exiled because of the etchings. If a creature dealt damage this turn by source you control would die, exile it instead, and it's not just this turn, it's as long as it's on board. Nice. We get the Insecto. double Insector. I like that. Thank you. Let's go uber wide. Yeah, man. Don't feel too special about myself beating on some like absolute nonsense blue deck. What are you actually doing? That was the weirdest like, okay, I wonder what he was trying to do. So play my bird, bounce my own bird back. Play my bird and I'll bounce my own bird back. Until I run out of cards. Cool. Cool. Slightly more challenging matchup, please, matchmaker. Preferably not against Naya enchantments, Selesnya enchantments, or what have you, because I'm just... That's all I've played all day on the ranked ladder, and I need a break. Ayo, Rick. Ayo, Rick. Ayo. That's a sweet little hand. On the draw, so we might draw like, what would I like to draw? Maybe a ooze. An oozy fellow. Ooh. Shambly boy comes in as a 2/2, is just infinitely better than a 1/1 Shambly boy. Oh, that's not a bad top deck. It's turned down. I don't know. Okay, Blizzard Brawls. Here we go. Oh, okay. I was expecting a troll. Flame Discharge, a very welcome arrival. Should have played my red land. Wait, if he... I mean, he won't attack, but just in case he does. Okay. Yay! Mana is flowing. I'm gonna keep growing the Shambler a little bit. Big old spider. There's also some weird unranked queue stuff. Here comes Alena. How do you like them apples? Double draw though every turn off of this thing. As long as he's got a 4/4 or bigger in play. I'm worried about Blizzard Brawls. Okay. Appears as though the opponent doesn't have Blizzard Brawl. There it is. Okay. You should have gone for the Alena. As you please, my dear fellow. We gain 4 life. That's a juicy 7-7 coming through. He lets it go. I thought for sure he would block. Okay. How many more of those do we have to sit through? Ouch. Oh, epic. Fantastic top deck. We just, I think we just have him. Straight up. No? No. Might have been a veil there or something, you know? Pack leader comes in bigger. Ooh. Way to ruin a game of Magic. Why don't you? Okay, so... Why would you block with 10-10? I would have blocked with one of the others. Keep up the attacker. You don't trade. I love unranked. That sort of stuff just makes me happy. Now we gain 10 life because of the Arni, so I'll just quite happily let this right through. You can still attack with the 4-4. Okay. I think we're going to channel this now. For 3. It's not much. Let's go for 2. These double draws are gonna probably be the end of us. Okay. Very bad double draws, fortunately. Backup pack leader. Ooh, that's nice. It has haste. Watch this. If we just had Kodama. It's over, buddy. It's over. You have to block aggressively. Or you die. There we go. We lose a few things. He's like, oh no, wait. If I'm gonna lose things, at least let. There we go. Everything exiled. Oh. It's 11-11 Kumano. Nice. KakkOozeAn. Da da da. The M train. I am the M train. Okay, that is a pretty sweet one also again. Then into Swarm, into do off to the races. Need some lands, of course, but when don't we? So this is going to be the final match. We're going to go for a little bit shorter video tonight. I'm extremely tired. Starting to feel that drowsy, might pass out of my chair feeling. Those of you who've been watching for a long time, like some of those old times when I was streaming out of Portugal on a farm. I was nodding off at my chair. Nice. Now the question is, do I play the springs? Yep, yeah. Definitely playing the springs. I was thinking maybe Kumano, and then if you get the fourth land, you go straight into Halana. That was a piper. Coming through. Oh, that's nasty. Giving her haste and growing her with this is just nasty. Okay. There's a wolf. It's gonna go to nighttime. Could be the freaking Averbrook caretaker. Okay. Lucky. Oof, that's quite the formidable defense force there. However, we might top deck an ooze. Deck listens. Oh my goodness, the deck listens. I love it when the deck listens. Put a counter on it. Watch this. Perfect way to end the match. Let's put the last one on her so that she makes the ooze bigger. Oh. Oh, it's juicy. Good game. Polite clap. First strike coming in hot. Alright guys. As you can see, Gruul Modified, going to be a force to be reckoned with. Still needs some tinkering. I don't know if this is the exact ideal 60 card pile that you want to be playing. There's lots of other guys that have put up already videos like this on YouTube. I highly recommend you go check a few of them out and sort of do what I do and make an amalgam. You take some of the good ideas from my videos, and you make a composite, and it can't help but be the best of all, you know, the best possible version. But in this final segment of the video where we jump back in and see if we could make any adjustments, I think what I would like to see more of is perhaps more Roaring Earth, less Ranger class, but then finding another way to get card advantage that we would usually gain through the Ranger classes level 3, as we have no other way of drawing cards. But just that Roaring Earth Kodama thing, which we didn't get to see. Unfortunately, we didn't draw Kodama once yet. I'm going to be making a mono green deck around this soon, so stay tuned for that, because this is something else. But that's the brew. No adjustments to be made. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all tomorrow for some fresh brews. Of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab, signing out. Peace, y'all.